What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on stage. Dear Kev on stage, all the churches in my city are now telling parents to make sure their kids leave their toys at home and no video games either. So what are some things I can do to make sure my kids don't get bored in church? Because rule like this, these are some of the reasons why people won't come to church. They all have the same excuse: I can't come to church because my kids act up. I hope you can answer my question. Daughter of the King from Louisville, Kentucky. Well, daughter of the King, here's the thing. I grew up in church all my life. All my life. I mean, I was born and I probably have missed 16 Sundays in my whole life. And I always had to sit in the sanctuary. There was no such thing as children's church when I was a child. Now, I wasn't allowed to bring my Game Boy. Well, we were poor, so I didn't have a Game Boy. And I wasn't allowed to bring toys because we were poor and I didn't have none of those either. So what did I do during church? I drew in the hymnal book with a pencil. I broke the church fan and played the drums on my knees. And one time I snuck my recorder in and played that along with the shouting music. The problem with today's kids is the problem with kids of yesteryear. They're not paying attention to messages. When the pastor's hooping and hollering, my 4-year-old son does not care what he's saying. So I let him bring toys into church because he doesn't care, and if he's not distracted or attentive to something, he's gonna disrupt church. So my first thing is, what can we do? I don't know. I suggest to go to a church that has children's church, because that's what I'm trying to do. Have a message that you can teach my kids on a level that they can understand it, because that's just a better option than forcing them to sit for an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on your church, and listen to a message that's not geared towards their age group. It's not that God's message isn't the same, it's just that it's not intended for a 3-year-old to comprehend and pay attention. So I let my kids play with my iPhone in church if they ever have to sit by me, if they're not in children's church, because I'd rather them sit there and be quiet so I can hear the message than sit there and try to force them to listen to something that's not intended for them to be taught. Having more questions, hit your boy up, KevOnStage at Gmail. I'll answer your question. Yeah. It's KevOnStage. Go and subscribe to my YouTube page, and don't you be bitter. Just follow me on Twitter. Yeah, jam.